Well, y'all, some encouraging news coming out of the Harley-Davidson boardroom fight. The news cycle is happening so fast on this, it's kind of hard for me to keep up. So let's jump right in. Well, with the 2025 riding season well underway, I am happy to announce a brand new sponsorship for Burroughs Point viewers that's designed to help you. I've partnered with BOHN Body Armor in order to provide a great discount for Burroughs Point viewers. BOHN offers all kinds of different riding apparel, safety gear. They have riding pants under the pants, riding pants, things of that nature in order to keep you safe. So you can wear what you normally wear and have it be stylish and protective at the same time. Go check them out at bohnarmor.com. That's BOHN armor.com. And use promo code BACalvin at checkout in order to get $10 off of your order of $100 or more. I've got a pair of their riding pants. It goes under my jeans. They're really thin. They provide protection in the places where it need to be protected. Again, use promo code checkout BACalvin for $10 off your order of $100 or more. With that, let's get to the video. So the battle for control of Harley-Davidson is heating up, and one other investment company has thrown their hat in the ring. The fund manager on this particular company, though, is a self-proclaimed biker and has some poignant things to say about the whole situation, and especially about the LiveWire situation. So let's jump into the news article on this. This comes from the Milwaukee Journal Sentinel, and it basically states that Purple Chip Capital Management, which is a firm based out in Canton, Georgia, says that it supports investor H Partners Management in what's become a proxy fight for the control of Harley-Davidson. As long-term Harley-Davidson shareholders and customers, we have watched in dismay as the company has drastically strayed from the core tenets that made it a true and lasting American icon, said Purple Chip in a release on Tuesday. Purple Chip is an investment management firm which states it has a value-oriented investment strategy and long-term approach to investing. Purple Chip has joined H Partners in its bid to fire Zeitz as CEO and not re-elect board members such as Zeitz, Tom Linebarger, and Sarah Levinson at the May 14th annual shareholders meeting. So it's like I talked about in a previous video, this is the main initiative right now by H Partners is to oust these three. As you know, Johann Zeitz, who is the current CEO, who's still holding on as CEO until they find a new CEO, has plans and designs to move into the executive administrator role or the executive, president role of the board. He intends to stay on the board. So just because he's stepping out as CEO does not mean that he's going away. These three board members who are complicit in the current hardwire strategy, they're the ones that are kind of part and parcel of this. And that's the reason why they're targeting these three. And H Partners and now Purple Chip are looking for a no vote, essentially, on these three board members. The press release by Purple Chip goes on to say that Harley-Davidson deserves a board of directors that recognizes what makes the company special and that treats their dealers like the partners, customers, and value drivers they are. Without financially successful dealerships, the community we are all proud to be a part of will fade and performance will continue to suffer. Whoa, okay. And furthermore, where H Partners kind of talked about Hardwire and how the execution of Hardwire was flawed and that Johann Zeitz just couldn't deliver on his promises, Purple Chip takes it a step further. Echoing some of the things I said in the previous video, Purple Chip goes a step further and says that LiveWire must be cut. They go on to say, on the product front, the company must acknowledge that the electric LiveWire line of bikes was horribly misguided and should be discontinued. Whoo-wee! Okay. Should be discontinued. The company needs to refocus its efforts on attracting the next generation of Harley riders. Yes. Revamping the lineup. Yes. And bringing back the iconic Sportster 883 as an entry-level motorcycle. Yes. So much yes, so much yes, so much yes. That can't be overstated. The 883 was a entry-level way, very affordable entry-level way for folks to get in on Harley-Davidson motorcycles. And there's, I think Shade Tree Surgeon did a video on it a little while back, lamenting the loss of the 883. So yes, please, for the love of everything, bring the 883 back, and similar motorcycles like that, small displacement, cheap, affordable motorcycles, not cheap, but you know what I mean, affordable entry-level motorcycles to get folks in to the Harley-Davidson ecosystem. Yes, 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 so much yes. Let's see what else they've got to say. I'm loving this so far. The news article goes on to talk about what H Partners has already done. We've already covered that on this video. They talk about Hardwire. If you've been watching this video, if you've been watching this series of videos rather, you will know what Hardwire is. But in case you don't and you're coming from somewhere else, Hardwire is the business strategy that was adopted by Johann Zeitz when he first took over as CEO. It scrapped the previous business strategy, which was entitled More Roads. That business strategy sought to bring on more Harley-Davidson models, to develop more models are inclusive of the rider community that are seeking to ride them, and was kind of they focused on volume sales. The idea was to get everyone on a Harley-Davidson. Since then, they scrapped that and went to Hardwire. The focus is now on profit margin per bike, cutting out the lower the lower profit margin bikes, and getting really doubling down on the high profit margin bikes, and then making the profits match. So that's what, when we refer to Hardwire, that's what we're talking about. But of course, Harley-Davidson, the current board of directors, don't take this lying down, and they've actually fired back at some of H Partners' claims, and now Purple Chips. In a recent letter to shareholders, the company, Harley-Davidson, this is the current board of directors speaking through the microphone of the motor company itself. So when I talk about Harley-Davidson says this, Harley-Davidson says that, I'm talking about the current people who are being targeted to be fired using the microphone of Harley-Davidson. So they are trying to say through Harley-Davidson that each of our directors brings experience crucial to the execution of the Hardwire plan and holds management accountable for their performance. Oh, by the way, Zeitz is still CEO. Zeitz is still CEO at this current time. Keep that in mind with all this. H Partners' actions jeopardize the continued success of the Hardwire plan, and we believe expose your investment to unnecessary and undue risk. Harley said that its highest profit category, U.S. touring bikes, returned to growth in 2021 and had a 74.5% market share in the category in 2024. Also, the company has said the performance of its Harley-Davidson Financial Services division, which provides consumer financing for bikes, is an important sales tool for dealerships, hit an all-time high during Highwire. Tuesday, Harley-Davidson took further aim at H Partners' claims, saying that the investor campaign is simply a reaction to the Harley board deciding not to offer the CEO position to H Partners' preferred candidate. H Partners seeks to advance their interests to the detriment of all shareholders by trying to remove 1/3 of the board, mounting a pressure campaign to cause the board to add 2 unnamed and non-shareholder elected directors, and then having the reconstituted board select the new CEO. The company said 120 candidates were identified by an executive search firm as possible choices to succeed Zeitz, and 36 of them were contacted and assessed by the firm. 6 were interviewed by the CEO search committee, according to Harley. The company denied H Partners' claims that Zeitz has been ineffective and largely absent CEO, and that Harley's product lineup is lacking. Mr. Zeitz is a highly active and effective CEO who has created significant value and prioritized engagement with our global customer, dealer, and employee base, and was fully supported by H Partner for the past 3 years. Until now, the company said it had not heard criticisms from Purple Chip, founded and run by investor Jason Dickerson. Harley-Davidson actively engages with and maintains an open dialogue with our shareholders, but today is the first time we have heard from this individual. The board of directors remains focused on overseeing the execution of the Hardwire strategic plan, leading a rigorous and comprehensive CEO search process, and driving value for all shareholders. My reaction to all this is that H Partners, obviously there's a lot of backdoor maneuvering that has to do with this, I'm sure. H Partners is actively seeking partners to go at and fix the board, I guess, in its own way. In my previous video, I did warn everyone, like I said, these are shareholders fighting for control of the company. That does not automatically translate to what's great for the rider. However, with Purple Chip coming on board, and with this Jason Dickerson fellow being a rider himself, and specifically calling out LiveWire, that's a good thing. Now, of course, Harley-Davidson, the current board, they're not going to take this sitting down. They're not going to just lie down and quit. To expect them to is folly. So there was some resistance to be expected. So this is them firing back and basically trying to plant flowers around this entire Hardwire plan. But if you've been paying attention this entire time, you know that Harley-Davidson is hemorrhaging money through LiveWire. That some of the tenets of the Hardwire strategy, the ones that are positive, the introduction of the new Milwaukee 8 engine, and these investments by the company, albeit that they are positive, Harley-Davidson, and there are bright spots in some of the sales figures. Hardwire, by all accounts, but from an objective view, from an outsider of the company, because I don't work for Harley-Davidson. I don't know anything about their, I guess, the internal boardroom politics and all that stuff. But from all objective views on the outside looking in, Hardwire has been an abject failure and has been a liability for the company. It's been unpopular with the riders since the price increases, the wokeness, all that other mess. It's been extremely unpopular with the rider base. And now you've got the board of directors basically fighting for their jobs, saying, oh, this is great. Oh, this is rosy. Johann Zeitz has been the best CEO ever. Yeah, I just don't see it. I just don't see it. So, you know, you gotta take what they're saying with a grain of salt. They're just trying to save their own hides at this point. So, yeah, this is this continued fight for the control of Harley-Davidson. It's going to be interesting to see who prevails, who ends up on top on this thing. But yeah, it's interesting to see another investment firm jump on board. And like I said, this dude, who I guess is the fund manager over there, is a biker himself. So calling out some of these things, such as LiveWire and some of the other abject failures into the Hardwire, yeah, it's kind of hard to hide those. So anyhow, what do y'all think about the new investor coming on? What do you think about the feedback from the board, some of the statements by the board, trying to save their own jobs? Let's discuss in the comments below. And as always, I'll catch you guys on the next video.